Perrin starts the game with level 1 leadership, level 2 military, and level 3 skill. He sits around the middle of the complexity scale, being fairly single-minded with his goals, but having plenty of options as to how he accomplishes them. Perrin loves building huge stacks of troop tokens before jumping into whatever fight he can. If you like constantly battling, jumping around all over the map, and a slow and steady approach, then Perrin may be the pick for you. Perrin's tier 1 quest, Wolf Brother, unlocks when he defeats a Trolloc Fist on the map. At this point, his hand size increases from 4 to 5, and he gains a base combat strength of 1. His tier 1 ability, Steward of the People, allows him to gain a troop each time he moves to a village or town location on the map. Perrin's tier 2 quest, Return to the Two Rivers, requires him to move back to Emmonsfield on the map. At this point, his hand size increases to 6 and his base CS becomes 3. His tier 2 ability, We Come, allows Perrin to double his base CS when battling in a village location. Perrin's tier 3 quest, The Last Knot, unlocks when he moves to Malden with at least 18 combined attribute levels on his player board. His hand size increases to 7 and his base CS becomes 5. His tier 3 ability, The Wolf Dream, can be exhausted to allow Perrin to move anywhere. Perrin's early to mid game is fairly strict in what you have to keep doing to make progress. The easiest way to kill your first Trolloc Fist without the help of an action card would be to beeline towards tier, do your best not to flip an enemy on the character reveal, then move towards Ilion through the Trollocs, here. Once you have your tier 1, it's a slow walk back to Emmonsfield, but this can be cut shorter by a number of actions such as Enter the Ways or Portal Stone if you can find them. You also want to try and level up your attributes steadily as you go, so that you can get your 3rd tier online as soon as possible. Followers usually serve one of 2 purposes for Perrin. Access to Days to Mar and channeling will mean a lot less dead draws through the course of the game. At the 2, channeling followers are probably more important to prioritise, as weaves are highly sought after by some of the other players, and having a reason to keep the ones that you draw in hand is usually optimal. Additionally, anything that benefits you when you visit a village or a town pairs nicely with Perrin's tier 1 and 2 abilities. Followers that give you special movement effects can also be extra nice. Perrin's tier 3 generates a lot of movement capabilities, to be sure, but it does take a few turns to recharge, and during that time, having access to someone like Androl or Jasper can really provide a boost. Perrin loves level up cards. Guiding the People, practicing the forms, Journey through Iridian, learning the craft are all premiums for him, as anything that gives him 2 levels in a single turn will accelerate him that much quicker towards his tier 3. By the same logic, anything that lets you level up whilst doing other things is just as valuable. Cards like Scout and Messenger are good examples of this. But battle cards and reactions to the end of battles are even more important, given their potential to play multiple of them in a single turn. There are a bunch of skill cards that Perrin can make use of to gain value in the mid to late game, such as Forgotten Tomes and Backflip as well. By the time you're tier 3, the world opens up a lot more and you're no longer bound by the strict ABC of hitting your targets. Use the Wolf Dream as much as possible to jump to villages and look for battles with Forsaken. If you're not ready for a fight, it's just as handy when you use the Toolbox of Utilities, and being able to get to many of the flag locations without spending a ton of time walking there first can be really handy. They're likely to have fairly high attribute levels, seeing as though you have to get them up to hit tier 3, so tier 2 actions are likely to form the bulk of your cards, things like Charge, Dragon Team, making it extra nice bonuses in combat, with a couple of high level military cards thrown in for good measure, like Power or Weapons. Perrin collects so many troops passively over the course of the game, meaning it's often worth it to look for battles throughout each stage. He's not especially reliable on followers, meaning you don't have to spend as much of your time recruiting and can try and reveal more enemies, or fight anything that happens to be sitting in the tavern row. Later in the game, the ability to travel anywhere means that Perrin is perfect for stealing Forsaken out from under somebody else's nose. If Lanfear was in Camelin, for example, and Ram was about to go and deal with it, Perrin could just jump over from anywhere. Quick trips to Tarwin'S Gap with a Bury the Dead or 2 can often also prove a lucrative method of farming extra points with Perrin, given how easy navigation is for him. Most players tend to prefer prioritising their first couple of tiers before starting to work on their attribute levels, meaning they'll have a much bigger stack of troops by the time they come to flipping tier 3s. Don't be afraid to hold on to a few disruptive actions too. Having troops all the time means you're less likely to need to hoard battle cards, and the extra space can be filled nicely with a cancel or two. And that's all for this guide. What's your favourite strategy when playing as Perrin? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more 3rd Age character guides coming soon. For those who didn't know, you can download 3rd Age completely free right now on the Steam Workshop. All you have to do is go and find it in the Tabletop Simulator Community Workshop, and then hit the subscribe button that will look exactly like this. Once you're subscribed, the next time you load up Tabletop Simulator, you should see 3rd Age and be able to load it right up and get into the game. Don't forget to join our Discord server as well for more updates and to talk to other players in the community.